just get to go.
The freaking mic looks massive from me.
In the thing. Looks like it's next to you, bro.
It's right here, bro.
You're gonna grab him, throw it, dude.
So is this much for people to eat?
This is unlisted at the moment, until it is finished. So we got a few topics to talk about.
The Oscars, bro.
No, we're not talking. Dude, I've never watched the Oscars in my entire life.
Dude, Oppenheimer won the votes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They won 10.
Wait, who?
Oppenheimer. They won like 6 or 10.
Where'd Barbie get placed in there?
Like 1. It's for Billie Eilish.
I'm gonna have a timer going so we know how long we've kind of been this live. I figured so. So we got 3 topics that I have, and then we can just kind of go from there and see what you want to talk about. Feel free to get up and go to the bathroom. Just do not.
I left the ice cream out.
That's all that's it.
I wonder, do you think the music's good? It's too loud for it? I think our voices are loud enough that it'll carry enough for the mic to pick it. I mean, we were playing COD or whatever, and he told me to turn it down a little bit. And because like, yeah, that's good. That's good. So the topics in one are relationships. It's gotta be good. Why are you making it like that? That's crazy. Anyways, we got relationships, college, and growing up. And I'm left by myself. Let's go.
I'm having to clean it.
You could have done that earlier.
No, I forgot about the ice cream. I forgot how I left it out.
Could have done it earlier.
No.
He's just gonna start the podcast and just not be a part of it.
I'll be there.
You're not though. He's gone. Chat. He's
gonna take a shit.
We can talk. We can fill in till that seat gets refilled.
I got it.
Yeah, whatever. This is gonna be scuffed. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah.
This is Doctor.
Heck yeah.
We already replaced it.
Replace that bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
Hashtag sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored, but we're open to the possibility.
Oh yeah, I need to cover this.
Oh, non-brand deals.
Got some
We're
ice
shocked.
cream. Got some ice cream, bro.
So, what topic do y'all want to start?
What's the first one?
So we got relationships.
Yeah.
Growing up, like just like childhood, getting into YouTube, getting into gaming, stuff like that. Or you're gonna have to make sure you can skip these ads so people do not have to listen to multiple ads. That's all you gotta do. Press X. And then college stories. What do you think is?
Let's do growing up first.
Growing up? Just
Growing
growing
up,
up.
sure.
Do we just want to do stuff like, maybe not like personal stories unless they're funny, or do we want to do like growing up with like gaming and YouTube and stuff like that?
We can do YouTube and gaming.
Okay.
I think we'd have to do like something else where it's just like personal lives as like the title, because that could be a whole like episode in itself. So how about we start with everybody's first Call of Duty game, or like when they first remember like YouTube or first watching
Call of Duty on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I ever watched Call of Duty on YouTube. Like,
No, not watching Call of Duty on YouTube. I'm talking about like either your first Call of Duty or your first time remembering watching YouTube.
Like Black Ops 2, like sniper compilation.
just seeing people
like
play?
Yeah. Or at least like
It doesn't have to be like
a live
you know, like super like in depth or like super specific, but just kind of like people you remember. Like for me, it was people probably more zombies than anything. I remember like being at like my cousin's house or something up in Kansas, and that was kind of my first introduction into zombies and Call of Duty. Went up there, and my cousin and her dad were in their living room playing this game, and all I remember is just seeing like this like small little tower-ish looking building, and them having like some like 1911 pistol, and like I just see this red number 1 in the corner, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this, dude?" And so they're like, "Yo, this is Call of Duty Zombies," and so they let me have the controller. I think I made it to round 3 and then died. Just terrified the rest of my life because my cousin, she was like, "I'm gonna come into your room and play the Zombies Left." And I was like, "No, please don't, please don't." So that's kind of my first introduction to the Zombies, Call of Duty, I think. And after that, it's kind of the rest is history because I just kind of asked for different games.
Mine will be.
Why you gotta say it like that, bro? It's not a video. It's
It
just
is.
like it's like you're having a conversation, bro. Yeah, you know that.
Okay.
The Pain and Sam or whatever. That pagan dude, the like African American dude that's like 6'7", just doesn't know what he's talking about. On TikTok.
On TikTok.
He's the one that always asks the really dumb questions. And then
Oh,
the other dude's
yeah.
white, and he's like, "Are you dumb?"
Did y'all see the one about him talking about if fish was an animal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It's so dumb.
that's you.
He does it on purpose. That is you.
Mine was the PlayStation 2.
What do you mean?
No, it was
Okay.
Call of Duty 3.
Call of Duty 3 on the PS2?
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about it?
The first mission. It was like, I forget what it was. It was just like this guy like threw me in that freaking door. So he just ran to this door and he was trying to like play like this quick time event. It was like the M4. So you have to like keep pressing the triggers and then like you just hit him with the gun and shoot him. It's like a whole
Dude,
cutscene
I've
in
never
itself.
played any of the first 3 Call of Duties.
I did.
I don't think I ever touched any of them.
I did. It was fun.
I think like if I ever had to, I would buy them just to add to the collection, knowing that I've owned every single Call of Duty game that's there.
Probably never touch him.
Yeah, those 3 are the only Call of Duties I never bought. I've owned it every single. That's a lie, actually. I never bought that Modern Warfare Remastered for the PS4.
I got
It was free. It was free.
I don't know if at the
I don't
time
think,
if
was
I
it
just
free
like
for a monthly thing or
I just don't remember if I
No, it was for a month.
for a month.
Yeah, but I got on both consoles on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But I didn't rebought it. I was just waiting till it was free.
I don't remember it being free. I'm not saying it wasn't. I just don't remember it, so I never like got it. And I was like, literally just the same thing. You can just use a PS4 controller. Yeah, that was mine. So, what about you?
My dad was playing it, of all people, and he called me into the room. I think he was in the living room. He said, "Dakota, come here," and I was like, "All right." So I ran over to him, and he handed me the controller and said, "All right, if you see any bad guys, push this trigger, okay?" Well, me being, I don't know, 8 or 9, however old I was, I think this got to be like MW like 1, like Call of Duty 4 or whatever. And he said, just pretty much just shoot anything that moves. Turns out he was playing hardcore mode. And I spawned next to his teammates and they started running. So they were behind some trees. So I would look at him, but he was weird. He played weird. He played inverted.
Who plays inverted?
That's what I was trying to figure out. So I pushed down on the stick to look down at the guy while my screen went up and everything. So I had to figure that out. Well, I start shooting at him, and I hear yelling going off in the headset. I don't know what's being said yet. Well, he ends up coming back, and I'm like, "Dad, look, I won the round." It's just me killing the entire team. Just to hit fire with my gun, just killing them. And I was like, "Can I put the headset on?" He said, "No."
No. Which Call
He
of
goes,
Duty was
"Sorry,
this?
guys." Huh?
Which Call of Duty was this?
Modern Warfare 1, I think. I can't fully remember, but yeah. He had to apologize. He said, "Sorry, I let my kid play."
They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was it like? Wait, why would they be mad if you're killing the team? Like,
No, I was killing the team.
No,
Like
he was
your
killing
team?
me.
I was team killing.
Yeah.
Oh, like friendly fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was doing friendly
gotcha.
fire because it was
I
hardcore.
thought he was. I thought he mean like he was killing everybody on the other team.
No, it was hardcore, bro.
No, it was hardcore MW. I
And I won't even select it.
In my team.
I'd beat my own team.
Yeah.
Growing up with like games in general wasn't really a big thing. I don't think until really I got my PS3.
I think mine was the Xbox 360
Yeah.
too.
I was
That generation.
GameCube.
I started out the GameCube.
I mean more for like Call of Duty, just like my love for gaming. You know?
Yeah, my love
like,
for gaming.
Like to really get into games. Like I mean, obviously some people are gonna start maybe more Nintendo style stuff, and so
I started off playing Mario.
It was probably gonna be stuff like DS and GameCube and stuff. Where we were getting actual, not saying not consoles, but you know what I mean?
No,
you don't
like-
do that.
Like I had the N64 and the GameCube also, but it wasn't like I'd touch it every day because I was going outside and playing.
Yeah. Like
I lived in Sudan, so it was like small town.
Yeah, and I mean, like even Mule should be 15 minutes away. I had neighbors that were my age or like around there. So most of the time, I was outside playing football. I don't think it was until my dad bought the PS3 for me until I really like understood like like this is crazy. Like this is like something I really enjoy besides football. So and I mean, what do y'all think of like the? Because I mean, for a while there was like a movement going on, like just teachers and everybody just been like, dude, no video games, they're bad for you.
It was like
They're
GTA
giving you
4.
autism.
It was their GTA 4 era.
Was it? Like
Yeah.
Early 2008, 9?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, because remember when everybody was saying,
And that's-
video games makes you more violent?
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
when World at War came out.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Modern?
No,
It was-
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the no Russian mission, and everybody was like getting offended.
Yeah, well, so yeah, how do y'all kind of feel about the whole makes you violent thing?
They've been studying it for the longest time. There's no correlation between those two.
There can't be.
No.
I got like banned.
Because the shit that I had to go through on some of those COD missions where
My mom would tell me she like banned me from certain games until like they didn't affect me, but just just until like I calmed down. Like certain games, she was just like, "You're acting like the game," and I'm like, "Mom, I'm a child." Mom, my imagination's crazy
I
right
don't
now.
think I ever had my mom say that.
I got
never
like,
say anything near that.
Banned from Ghost Rider on the PS2 and Guitar Hero 3.
Why Guitar Hero?
Because of the ending boss battle was against Satan, the literal devil, and my mom's like, "Yeah, you ain't doing that, bro."
No,
Should've
I
made
mean,
the
it's like,
argument, I can beat the devil.
It's just like, I can play as the god of rock and literally banish him back to hell, dude. And then as for like Ghost Rider, I think it was kind of the same thing. You know, dealing with like demons and like hell and whatnot. Because half the game you're either in old Western Texas or you're in hell for like half the game. So, was there any games your parents ever gonna let you play? I mean, I guess like GTA. Yeah.
GTA.
No, I played GTA since I was
I just
6 years
didn't-
old.
They never let me play GTA.
I had like one GTA, and I had I think it was Vice City.
Mine was San Andreas on the
I
PS2.
had San Andreas.
I don't think I played GTA 5 until I turned 18. I played GTA because I wasn't old enough to buy it for myself, and
Yeah.
when I tried buying it with my mom, the
You're
lady
like,
told her
"Sir,
about the strip.
ma'am, do you know there's a strip club and you can
Yeah.
see
Like,
animated
everything."
boobish?"
Yeah,
I remember that one of my best friends, he got me GTA 5.
really?
Yeah, because he was like, his dad was like, "What do you want, son?" And I was like, "GTA 5, I guess." And it was on the 360, so it's whenever it came out. And he was like, "Here you go." I was like,
I remember GTA 5 like when it got released, and my dad bought it because he liked the old GTA games, and he was doing that first mission because I remember him like first playing,
yeah,
where you're trying to
remove.
outrun the
Outrun.
train and then like also get all the money and outrun the cops. And I remember after the first mission, my dad's like done killing all the police or whatever in game, and he sets the controller down. He goes. He's like, "Don't let your mother know you play this game." But, I think like there's probably got to be some there's got to be something good about not playing games, but at the same time, like
I guess more for
you
me.
can make or like be more active. But at the same time, like that you can't just like fully take away your games. I mean, like even like people in like Japan, certain schools are like, you get an hour screen time a day.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, because for some people, that might be their only socializing they have. So would you rather take it away from your kid, and him not have any friends, or like let him play a game where maybe he has a few people?
I mean, it depends on the scenario, I guess.
What?
Because if we're living in a big town, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're living in a small town, I want him to go outside and get mud on it.
Get mud. Yeah, I think so too. But like, I'm not gonna just fully like take.
I'm not throw him outside and lock the door. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
That's child abuse.
That's not child abuse. My mom did that.
Go outside.
My mom would push me outside and then lock all the doors.
No, my parents.
You can be in or you can be out this house, but you ain't gonna be in and out my house. AC's been out. Wow, it was one of those window. It was one of those window units. Because and then it wasn't until like way later for my dad to actually install like actual AC into the house, and then we moved like a year later. I was like, we got a good air conditioning.
Yeah.
Where do you think, like, what game specifically do you think is like you touched it and it was like gold? This is the start of like many games to be on in the future.
Are we talking about online or are we talking about like in general?
Well, I mean, I guess it would lead to online anyways eventually. Because I mean, like, I could say, this Call of Duty game. But I mean, later on, obviously, I bought all of them, and some of them I did get to play on my my favorite. I mean, either or.
I want to still say GTA San Andreas because I love
San
that.
Andreas.
Because
as the gamer's like, yeah, this makes me a gamer now.
Well, it's more of like I just
certified
love,
gamer.
I just love you can just break rules and not have to have a form of consequences.
So like cheat codes.
Yeah, like you use cheat codes.
Did you ever like go online and be like,
no, actually
spawn horse?
Actually, me and my brother, what we did was we get a notebook and we would draw. We would draw, and I would sell them for like $5 a piece, and I would keep like.
They look online, but like, Adrian, you scam.
No, actually, because it's about the time when Sudan does not have like internet. It was like early 2000s. So it wasn't like, oh, the internet is huge as it is right now. It was like back then it was like 1 megabyte a second. So it's like takes like 5 hours just to load up one whole page. So like me and my brother, what we did is that we would go here in Lubbock, go to the mall. Whenever it's like somewhat fast, draw a couple cheat codes and boom.
I think like mine was. Do I say Call of Duty? No.
Mine's definitely Call of Duty.
I think like yes. For where I'm at now, I think Call of Duty was like the major thing, but I don't know if it's like major in terms of like this was the game that made me like video games in general. COD is like what I love, like just like forever now. Like it's the game I've always loved. I don't think it's the game that made me love games.
Yeah.
I was like addicted to Red Dead 1 for a while.
Red Dead Redemption.
The first Red Dead.
I got the second one. I couldn't get into it.
I don't know if it was like. I don't know if it was before any of the Call of Duties, because like right after, like as soon as my dad bought a PS3, we were all playing Red Dead, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you a PS3 so we can play Red Dead together." So I think it probably was because obviously if he got Red Dead with the PS3, and obviously the first Call of Duties I had weren't on the PS2, they were on the PS3. So I think it's probably Red Dead, and that's kind of what got me into zombies, because there was that zombies mode with the waves, And then once you hit round 20, if you beat round 20, it was like sudden death, and it was just like you survive as long as you can.
Was it like part of the online mode?
Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
go there online, and then you go to it was like Undead Wave or something.
Yeah, I
like that.
remember. Yeah.
And there were some like good maps because there were some things there was like not glitches, but part of the map you could like almost go outside of, and there'd be like different like sheds and stuff you could jump onto, and just sit up there, and the zombies couldn't hit you like at all. I think gaming overall has probably affected us. Maybe in ways we don't necessarily maybe think about.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you didn't. Sorry, man. I mean, like I told you, bro, like I played Origins on Black Ops 2, and there were some things about World War I that I didn't know that until I played it, and then I looked up, I was like,
These actually exist.
that's real.
Yeah.
Yo, Element 115, it exists, dude.
It is, but it's not turning the people to the undead. It's like something weird, isn't it?
It's something that messes with like your mind.
Like psychedelics?
No, you remember that TikTok you sent us?
It's like a the real
I sent it
vibe.
to you, and you were like, if you would watch the TikToks we sent you, I would.
Yeah, it's like the real. What's
You
the
said
real
the
115 element?
115 one.
I can't remember how.
It's like a bunch of scientists. They're talking about the real 115.
They're like, yeah, they're like,
there you go.
It's like something to do with
like a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I go through too many TikToks. My life is on TikTok.
Yeah, I'll be like, there was like one day where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to look at my phone for the next 2 days in terms of TikTok notifications. I won't get on TikTok for 2 days. We'll see how many I can come back to 96 TikTok notifications. 50 from you and like 40 from you, bro.
Yeah, because it was someone. It was pretty funny.
Y'all were, I could have sworn it was share.
There's some good ones on there.
I
want to get y'all for you.
If I was on your TikTok, dude,
I hate your
if
40
I look at your
Yes,
TikToks,
I do.
it would be a whole day's worth of scrolling through TikTok.
Just watch Google's gonna be like, hey, TikTok's gonna get banned tomorrow.
Oh, did you hear
You're
that they're
all
passing that law though? To actually like get it banned on all phones.
They have 100 and something days to switch for TikTok to change to an American company.
To an American?
Yeah.
Just for the Chinese stuff.
Yep. Even though the creator of TikTok is Chinese.
Isn't the creator Chinese?
No, I mean, bro, he's like, I'm not from China, dude.
I don't exist here, bro.
And then you're like, but it's like, are you afraid that you would disappear the next day? Like you, like
Oh my
part
God.
of the Chinese Communist Party? He's like, sir.
This is a Wendy's.
Pretty much, he said that. I think it's like Taiwan, because they're not part of China,
Yeah.
Taiwan or whatever, because it's its own thing.
It's on the whole phone. So real quick, so I was looking at my screen time. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of glitched out, right? February 25th to March 3rd. This is the week, right?
300 hours.
28 hours and 39 minutes on TikTok alone.
Jeez.
Yo, that's a whole day
That is a whole
of
day.
your
day
life
plus-
that you will never
You're
get
gonna
back.
get back.
Yeah.
That's
Just
why you're
on
so
TikTok.
tired all the time, man.
Yeah,
The
that's
week before that was
bro.
27 hours and 45 minutes.
That's multiple days in
Dude.
life that are never gonna come back.
See, it's glitched though from here, so I don't know what this week's supposed to be.
Dude, imagine your whole life. That's a seventh of his week gone.
Yeah.
Imagine just like 1 week, you're just a whole day shorter in life.
I don't know if it counts though if you have it in the background though, because I always have it.
Oh, okay. That one actually might.
Because I'll have it like this and I'll be on something completely different.
Dude, I'm really bad at that.
I just don't know if it.
Like clothing apps.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that too.
I started eating. I used to not be.
I
used to because I would just
like
open
the
it and
mom
forget
stuff.
about it. Yeah.
Well,
I
back
forget
in
about
the like high school, whenever we had a home button, yeah, I was like really good at it,
Mhm.
just because I had the
just
whole
like
button.
double click.
But now that we have to do that weird little
Yeah.
slide up, it's just kind of.
I'm like,
I do that with every app. If I'm getting on a different app, I'll maybe have at most 3 apps.
Did you know that you can swipe it and swipe through your apps like a booklet?
Mhm.
Did you know about that? I didn't know about that till one of my friends showed me. So I would always swipe up like this and then go through and say like I didn't know I could just do that.
yeah, it's always been. Like,
I didn't know like that. Not until they started doing this whole thing.
yeah,
Like,
the X.
being able to change your like picture like on your home screen and stuff. You talking about like wait? What do you mean until they start doing this?
The whole little bar.
Oh, the bar.
Yeah.
I thought you were just talking about. So what? Like the iPhone X?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what they use.
So it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I didn't know that until 6 years ago.
No one ever talks about it. No one ever did it. So
What do you mean?
Everybody does it.
Oh,
It's
sure,
just that
I
it's
didn't know
more of
that.
like a muscle memory. Yeah.
No, I would see other people and they would do it with the whole swipe up and then go through select instead of swiping.
I always
Like,
do it.
I don't know, bro.
I've never seen people do it.
Like, I remember,
Wait, did a friend show me or did I see it on TikTok? I think I saw it on TikTok. I think it was like one of those little tech videos.
I know, like, for me, and this is just going off screen time. I know, like, one time it was like pretty bad. It was like I think the most I ever like you know what screen time like you can go in and see like the average amount of time you spend on
That's what I just
phones.
did.
I thought you were just looking at like that one app.
No, that was the whole screen time. It showed me everything else.
So you were
next was
no, I
Snapchat.
meant like average of just being on your phone.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking at the screen.
So, but you said 20 hours. You were just talking about TikTok.
I closed it.
But you were just talking about TikTok, yes or no? You
We
were
were just talking about TikTok or
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about daily. I'm not talking about like.
No, screen time.
Never mind.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at the screen.
I know, but you're thinking I'm talking about something different when I am, but I'm not. I'm talking about just being on your phone. You were saying 28 hours a week on just TikTok, right?
But you can also
Can you
like this.
answer yes or no?
Yeah, look, I'm saying yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not talking. Okay,
I know.
yes.
I know.
But we're not talking about just TikTok anymore.
I'm not talking about
You
just
were
TikTok.
talking about TikTok.
I said yeah. My second one was Snap.
It's not what we're talking
That's what
about.
I was talking about.
No,
And so I moved on, and you're bringing
You
Hey,
said my
you could've-
average time.
You coulda-
yeah, of just being on your phone.
Yeah, like
And
on
you
your
said
phone.
yes. I've been on 28 hours a week on just TikTok. We're not talking about the
I wasn't
28
talking
hours.
about this TikTok.
We could go
We-
back
I
and forth.
was
And you
going-
said, "Oh, I got 28
For the
hours."
record, I was going into a different
Nah.
conversation. Adrian understands. He does not.
Dude,
They
Dude,
don't know.
he's dude.
So
no,
how
no.
about you let me explain it first, and
Nah.
then see if you understand.
All right, let him.
Don't interrupt with your 28 hours a week on TikTok. So what I was saying before, somebody that didn't know what I was saying.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking
So
about.
if you go on settings, you can go into screen time, and it'll show you like your daily average throughout a week of how many hours you spend on your phone. Not TikTok through the week. Gather it up. I'm talking about, let's say every day you're on your phone for 10 hours.
Yeah.
At the end of the week, it'll say you average 10 hours a day. Because, obviously 70 divided by 7 is going to be 10. That's, 10 for each day. So it got bad to the point where I was reaching like 12 hours a day on my phone. So that's like, except for when I'm asleep, bro. And so I was like, dude, this is like half my life just going into this little like screen. It's like, even though I got games, I got, family work, all this stuff, I'm just like in this little box. Even when I'm with them. So I was like, I gotta cut this down like hard. So like I tried taking initiative in terms of like if I would catch myself on my phone, like being on it for a couple hours before checking it or looking at it again. And it would start slowly going down. Like the next week, it was like 7 hours. And I was like, oh, cool. Like it's getting, it could be better, but that's 5 hours of my life that I've, actually been.
More in person.
Yeah. And then the next week, I was doing the same thing. If I would catch myself, I'd go longer.
Yeah.
And I got like to the point where it was like 2 hours a day, and I was like, yo, like this is where I want to be. But I think it still could be a little better unless it was like, just like a day where like I just couldn't absolutely do anything.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple weeks ago, I wake up Sunday morning because it sends it out every Sunday morning at the beginning of the week, and it said 10 minutes a day. Oh my gosh, I lost it because I was like, there's no way I was on my phone 10 minutes a day. Because I remember watching YouTube videos that were hours long, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying phones have corrupted us, but they kind of have.
Yeah. It's like they said, like all of our teachers, it's like this smartphone was like like a lot smarter than what their calculators they had back
Yeah,
then.
you know, like you take this, you got more information in the palm of your hand than they did to land on the moon and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they had this back then.
Oh yeah, they landed on the moon like
America would be okay. Do you think that let's say hypothetically, if you could go back in time and you could give somebody your phone with Wi-Fi and all the knowledge of this day just somehow connected to it in a parallel time, do you think first of all, would you? Second off, where do you think the world would be right now if you gave this to like the government?
I think I wouldn't. But if I end up doing it, like say it's just like, oh, I have to. Like someone put a gun in my head, it's like you have to go back in time and get your phone, or whatever. I do believe that.
What do you think it would be? Yeah, like what would be different?
I think it would be pretty hard to think about something like that. But
I know I kind of have my theory on like
I think what I'm thinking is that we have better technology what we have on our phone, but not as advanced as like what you think it should be. Because I think that we would have self-driving cars by then if we give them this phone. Yeah,
because they wouldn't know how to do it. So,
yeah.
I think it's kind of similar to that in terms of like if it was happening, I think it would be drastically different, but not in the ways you would think.
Yeah.
Like I think technology may be advanced, but I don't think it'd be like I don't think we'd have Iron Man suits or teleportation.
Yeah.
I do think maybe smartphones and TVs and stuff came out earlier and whatnot, but like you still have to have like key moments in history of like discovering how a TV screen works and how cars run and stuff. Because like somebody had to like figure that out. Because then if no one figures it out and they just looked it up, they're not going to know how to progress.
Right.
They can only make so much before they're just like, we never actually learned this. We just know it's happening.
I feel like you'd also have to go to someone with at least had access to like power.
Like a scientist, or you mean like
a scientist?
Yeah, like NASA or something. Like
to young.
Well, like power as in like energy, like to be able to keep the phone charged and know what to do with it.
Nikola Tesla. You don't think so?
Dude, I thought
He wanted to give free energy to the world, bro. And then the government was like, "No, give this to us. They're going to charge people for it."
No, it was Thomas Edison, bro.
That's for lightning, bro. Wasn't it?
Because it was Edison versus Tesla.
That was like the first discovery of being able to harness energy.
Yeah, but like to actually like control energy is Tesla because it was like the particle accelerator, but it was the Tesla coil.
The Tesla coil,
and he was able to harness it and like distribute it out safely.
Yeah,
for free. But then they're like, like we gotta.
AC and DC, alternating currents and direct current, bro. That's what AC. Yeah, you have to learn that in friggin' HVAC. What's the difference between AC and a DC? Alternating currents.
You thunderstruck? Yeah, bro.
Alternating currents and direct current. Your batteries are DC because it's direct.
AC thunderstruck. I didn't see that. I used to get it. So I'm going on for. I was planning on maybe like an hour and a half ish now. We're 33 minutes in.
33. Okay.
So women.
Yeah.
This is the tape podcast.
I'm out.
He said, I can't do this. My girlfriend's watching.
Like, let's just, maybe not necessarily just women, but let's just talk about, like, this generation and, like, dating and stuff. I mean, I get, like, crap a lot from my parents in terms of, like getting them grandkids. But like, I really don't think they understand like how like
the difference between their generation.
yeah. I didn't want to say like difficult.
Yeah.
To you know, this isn't like hardcore mode or anything like that. But like, I've had to talk with them, and they're not like sex, like not like in that. But like we're just like a difference in generations, like you said, like y'all were getting married at 16, bro. Like I'm not getting
they end
married
up buying a
in high
house
school.
at the age of
Yeah.
20.
You know, and they don't realize like they complain about inflation, but they don't understand the inflation difference from when they were kids versus when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, they always are like, I miss the good old days when gas was 10 cents a gallon. And it's like nowadays, like gas is, you know, $3 and they're like, but then they go on this thing like back in my day, we only got 2 pennies a day. And I'm like,
Congratulations.
yeah, like what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I gotta pay, you know, 80% more than what you were paying on like, everything. Obviously gas is gonna be, you know, hundreds of percents more, you know, thousands of percents more, but you know, like houses and stuff. Yeah, because your house was $3,000, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a
And now
house
it's
that
accumulated like 100,000.
if that same house was built now, just with you know normal modern stuff, $200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. And so like I feel bad telling them like, hey, it may be a while or not at all that you get grandkids for like 2 reasons. One, just like inflation is so crazy. I can't afford a kid even if I want to. Second of all, I gotta find somebody that's gonna willing to have kids with me.
Right.
To even. And like, you know, like congratulations to everybody who's been able to have success in that and you know have a person that they're able to do that with. But I'm like, it is a completely different book than what adults make it out to be. Like they make it sound like we are in, you know, the easiest times ever. When in reality, it's like
It's skiing a lot.
like if you look at statistics, bro, birth rate's down. Birth rate's at an all-time low.
That's a low.
Yeah.
Teens and kids and like people our age in relationships is also at an all-time low. Marriages don't last longer than 3 years.
Single mothers is up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, or yeah, you know, people don't have like one of the parents in
In the household.
yeah, and that's men and women that way. You know, that's not just you know either or, but it's like I can think of multiple cases where like this kid didn't have a mom or this kid didn't have a dad. It's like it's not just one side. I don't know. It's like my parents are just like, when are you gonna bring a kid or not a kid? Grandkid home, I should say.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He says,
Yeah, bring your kid home.
bring a grandkid to them so they can spoil it. But it's like, mom, like to be honest,
no money.
even if I did have one, it may not even be till I'm 30 before I decide to settle down.
Yeah.
My kid's gonna graduate by the time I'm 50, bro. Like I'm shocked, dude.
Yeah.
Like unless I was to meet, you know, somebody tomorrow, and then just like you know. Like what do you think is the biggest factor in like people not being able to stay in relationships or find relationships? What do you think is the biggest
Social media. 110%.
Social media is definitely gonna.
Do you think that's like the number one
Yes.
reason people don't have relationships now?
I would say because people,
That's because
people
one
cheat on
yes. I mean, you know,
people
so
won't let you look at
DMs
their
or you know, you're grabbing something of yours and you're their phone. And it's snatching it. Yeah. Without thinking about that, my like guess would have been like parents nowadays.
parents. What?
Raising how they raise their kids nowadays. You know, like a lot of them won't tell their kid no, or if they do, it's like the parents almost
It's not
more
the word,
fear.
no, it's
They're more fearful of the child threatening them than like actually just for the parent to take action.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know, like back in my day, like everybody's just like, oh, you're white, so you probably had parents that never hit you. And I was like, bro, my parents were abusive, bro, but I'm glad they were.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad my stepdad or my mom would like take a belt and just like get that. No, I'm not gonna make the joke.
You're gonna need to cut that out.
Get back in the yard, boy.
You're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah, we'll take that out. Leave that in there. Future editors.
Future.
But I'm glad they did because I'm like looking at kids now, bro. I'm like, was I like that when I was younger? Until they beat it out of me, you know, like that's what my thought would have been. Would be like how parents raise their kids, social media, like the cheating and stuff. I know there are like guys out there that are like pigs too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, like
it's both.
guys that are
It's
just
both. It's both. Both sides feed on each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's like guys that F around. But I'm like, since I am a male, I'm obviously probably going to be more biased towards like seeing it more
because we've only
more
seen it
in
from the
women.
guys.
Yeah. So it's like, like I do believe there are people that genuinely lead other people on.
Oh, without a doubt.
But
Because
like,
that's their kink.
obviously, it's not everybody, and I wonder if it's just because everybody thinks they just need attention now.
Pretty much.
Everyone's
just wants
to
for
be
attention
loved.
more than.
It's like, I don't even know if it's love at this point. I wonder if it's just like, so people like, how do I say this? So other people will do stuff for them without having to do anything in return. You know, like almost like I'm gonna do you a favor, but you won't do anything back for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like I want you to just be I want you to be so wrapped around my finger that I can make you do stuff for me
like you
without ever having to be paid the favor. I think that's
Yeah.
So someone's upstairs looking for a dog over there.
or something. I mean, I've known girls like that. It's like, do we put names out there?
Yeah. No.
So there's this.
She's we'll call her something.
Letter number 25,
Yeah.
22,
Or 13th a reason.
They're crazy. It's like I'm not necessarily saying like that's exactly what her goal was, but I heard from different people. It's like, you know, maybe she just wanted to mess around until she was bored with you or something like that, and didn't really want to give anything back in return except for like unless she asked you for some, because she knows you won't say like no or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the talk with my parents. Like I'm going back to this now. That was a whole other rant. I had a talk with my parents. Like my stepdad was so like intent, the right word. What's the word? He, like just throwing it on you. I don't know how to
say the sentence again.
Like my stepdad was so like, you know what I mean? Like just putting it on you. Like they wanted you to get it through your head that it is not hard to find a wife. If that makes sense. And I'm like, you really don't know. And they're like, yeah, we were your age once. Yeah, when the world was different. Like, you know, like you act like time doesn't change. Like, look at, 40 years ago, we got Wi-Fi. Now you know, you can't do anything unless you have Wi-Fi. It's like,
yeah,
the world's changed, so people will too. And my mom, like, she almost gets emotional because, like, she's like, I'm never gonna have grandkids this small. I'm like, Mom, you gave me the ugly. No,
she also has 2 other kids.
I'm like, and they're women, and I, like I have 4 sisters. They're all, all girls or whatever. In terms of like, they'll want to have kids, but they're not gonna. They may switch teams, but I mean, for the most part, I'm saying they're all women in terms of eventually they want to have kids. I would hope, and I'm like, most of the time, if the woman's, almost no matter how really attractive the woman's going to be, there's somebody out there who's going to ask them out.
Yeah.
There's some guy out there that will always be out there asking them.
Where are asking guys out?
Where are these women at?
They're not here.
I'm like, if there are women out there asking guys out, like, where have they been in my life? But you know what I mean? It's just like, and maybe it's just me being a guy, but like, and seeing one side, but that's kind of my dilemma. It's just like people not understanding realistically not how hard it is nowadays, but we're just like how different it is. Because I don't want to say like it's hard because I'm like everybody that ever just agreed with what I just said would be considered a pansy or something. Seriously, and tape charging is like it's not necessarily that easy, but all right, I'm not all. It's not like the whole like don't share your feelings if you're a man.
Yeah.
Just kind of keep everything hidden inside of all of them. Or I've told that to my parents too. I'm like, don't keep everything hidden inside. I'm like, I've seen so many things where it's, we got the ick because he cried in front of me.
Yeah,
I got the
about his
ick
feelings.
because he did one feminine thing. I got the ick because of this. I ick that. This.
You ever see that guy on TikTok? I think he's called the Ick List.
Oh, it's just like
I think he was like in the
billion.
400s now,
Yeah.
or something like that on his list. At least last time I saw.
Like I remember, there's one where like literally don't eat nachos because he bit into it and the chip fell out of his mouth. It crunched and that one part broke off and fell. And she's like, "Knew it come off." And I'm like, "Bro, they eat chip. Oh my god, don't eat chips." So what are you supposed to do? Just don't sit there. And they're like, "Don't sit down." I'm like, "Oh, then just don't exist. Kill yourself at that point." Again. You, Kevin, watching this thing up. And
There's no stuff animal.
do what?
I said there's no stuffed animal of Kevin.
He's acoustic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can't say the other word.
Autism. Autistic. Those
The other
those
one,
TikTok
the
words.
R one.
Retard?
The R one. You can't say that on there.
It's my channel. Yeah.
It's a good thing we're editing it.
No, we're not.
I lost access to the fucking photo or video editor or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, the Premiere, whatever.
Premiere, yeah. I lost access to it, sadly.
You got any stories of women?
Women?
You want to tell that
Ones that I've already told you?
you don't have to. You can tell new ones if you want.
I don't know any new ones.
And just maybe kind of give an overview of what's happening. That's just kind of.
Women suck.
Oh my gosh.
We actually have to put that out.
You get flagged.
Oh yeah.
Demonetized.
Women need to just quit fucking lying about like oh like you're the only person I'm talking to, or
Damn well there's another
Yeah.
pin conversation at the top of
there's
this.
some other conversation going on.
Obviously, you ain't got to talk about like President Day stuff. You can talk about past things.
So
Be like these women suck. This one's nice.
So, with the grandkids thing, what you were talking about, my parents was like, I don't want grandkids. You go live by yourself and do your own thing. And my dad was like, well, yeah. My dad was like a player back then in the 80s to like 70s, whatever. And my dad was like, you're dark.
You're so tall. No,
Yeah, literally, he's like, you're so tall. You're not. You can't be scared of women. Like, kind of like grown up. You know how
We're all fugly, but we get the women. Look at me and your mom.
Like
But-
that doesn't make sense.
But like my dad, like kind of like a generation shift. It's like my dad always talking like 5 different women in 5 different cities,
Now you can.
and then now
5 different women without being arrested.
Yeah. Or
But-
yelled at, put on social media.
yeah, and he was like, you can't settle down with one because you're too young. You have to go find like 6 others because you always have to find which ones you want and which ones you don't, and like in this lifetime. But the thing is, it's like I said, social media is kind of like fucked up the whole dating side of things. So like it doesn't matter if you're only hanging out with friends. If just like one girl in the background or something, and like if your girlfriend's like really jealous or something, they'd be like, "Oh, I saw you were in the club with Jennifer last night," and you're like, "Who's Jennifer?" It was like that bitch who's like in the background. And you're like, "I never talked to her."
Yo, she was just there, bro.
She was just there.
Existing.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. It's, or I think a lot, or something else like I'm kind of thinking of is like, let's say you're like out on a date. that girl's just on her phone. She had no interest. She's definitely talking to somebody else.
Oh,
Like she's just on her phone and not attentive.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like she's probably talking to somebody else. She's just there for like whatever you're gonna get her. Like what I mean, like in terms of like free meal if you buy her stuff, whatever. I don't know. It's weird now. I mean, like I don't know, because there's definitely gotta be guys out there that do that, right?
Oh yeah.
But for like the money thing, I mean, it's gotta be slim, but it happens, right? Like, there's gotta be some.
Yeah. Well, this is what the dude ordering food, right? And they'll order extravagant, trying to show off in front of the girl, and then they'll dip like immediately and just leave the girl there to pay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's gonna pay for me. Dine and Dash, bro. I saw this TikTok where this dude and his group, or I don't know if like they've been dating, but like they were a new couple, and she goes to the bathroom, and so he's filming this, and he pays for the food while she's in the bathroom. She comes back and she goes, "Have you paid it?" And he goes, "No, they haven't given me my check." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well." She's like, "We'll just wait and get your card whenever he gets back to her." And the guy's like, "Oh crap, I forgot my wallet." When he had his wallet, but he was just like, it was just for the video. It's like, "I don't have my wallet." She goes, "I don't have money with me." She goes, "What do we do?" And he's like, "We could like just dine and dash." And he's like, "You just like take off." And she goes, I don't know if we can. And they end up running out the thing. He's like, "I have my wallet." It's just like, oh. I'm like,
dang.
Yeah. Either of y'all would do that to somebody else, and if you have the guts just to do that to like the restaurant, it means you have no self-respect, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have a care for anybody else. I don't know. Do you think TikTok has a lot to do with it? Not too.
In what ways?
Just like people seeing trends being really influenced easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
The whole ick thing.
People's attention span as well is probably just at an all-time low. I'm not saying mine's not, and I'm better than everybody, but like
For sure.
I feel like I'm definitely a lot better than some people are.
Bro, if I'm on TikTok and I see a video, probably
You won't talk to it
after a minute, I'll just skip it.
I'll ask him and be like, "Yo, you trying to get on the game?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be on starter party. Like, I'm getting on right now." And it's like 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Yo, bro, where you at? You gonna join the party?" He's like, "I'm in bed on TikTok. I don't want to get out. It's too complicated." I'm like, "Bro, get up!"
You find that one awkward, comfortable spot to just lay.
And then he joins, and you immediately hear a video like,
yeah, because I joined y'all. Y'all set up everything, so I'm just like, I'll leave it to them. I'll go to TikTok.
so just me and you for 10 minutes straight, and then he joins. And it's just like, bro, we could have been playing games an hour ago. Like,
Nah.
what do you mean waiting for us to set up? It takes 2 clicks. And
Exactly. So then I'm on TikTok and then
for 2 clicks,
waiting for
at
you
most.
to load into that.
And then we gotta wait for you to get into the game.
What do you mean?
Because then you're not on. You're not immediately on. So even if we did
Yeah.
start the party, and we
So I wait for
you're
the
not.
loading
We go into the.
I just wait
There's
for the
no
loading
way.
screen. Yeah.
And you could have put your headphones on if you're able to get into the loading screen.
I do. I would have my headphones on.
And
If I join the party, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying you're saying if like you're in bed. And,
So
like,
you're
you
saying
want to
whenever I
get-
just joined the party, you immediately hear TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd have my headset on.
It's just like the attention span is like crazy. Different people.
Yeah.
It's like in between each game too. It's just like one of us is on TikTok or YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Depends on the game, though.
Call of Duty.
Well,
No,
if we play like Warzone, yeah.
if it's Warzone, I don't get on until I see our ranking.
Some of y'all, I don't know how like y'all will like just die sometimes and like can immediately all hear TikTok doing. I'm like,
I don't
focus,
TikTok
bro.
in the game.
Yeah.
Unless I'm at like actually full dead, like no.
Oh,
no
so
surgery,
by
just
that-
like,
buy you or something?
yeah. If I have to be bought, then yeah, I'll go on TikTok. Because I'm like, oh, he's got to play the game. There probably isn't a spot in my game yet.
I think a lot. I'm not saying like this is like because of it, but I think like not college per se, but, and this is kind of going into the college topic. not college per se, but independence. Because I know for sure if I still have the same rules I was living by like senior and like sophomore year of high school, I would not be on my phone or on the game as much as I am. Just because like I definitely had limits.
Oh, like
If
you
you
have
have
to
to
take away or something like that?
Not even
No,
we're just like no,
Like
no,
you have a school
home.
night.
Yeah, like a school night.
Like a school night.
Like
Like
guys,
guys
like,
who were
your parents like you
Parents
guys
would
get
take
off
your
at
phone
like
away or
10
something
o'clock or
Yeah.
you
It's like
have to
that-
have your phone on the charger at 9 or something. Like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't. We definitely would not be staying up till like 4.
No.
Or what?
Because I would get off at like 9 or something like that, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
you get
I
out
was
like
back.
early.
And I mean, like I understand now, like like if me or Adrian said like, hey, we're getting off at 11 because we got work at like 11 or whatever, or I mean, we want to bed at 11 because we work early in the morning. Like that makes sense because it's like it's an actual part of society. Because like before it was just like what your parents decided you were gonna do.
Yeah.
College was wild for me. Like it's not what I expected it to be at all. Like I'm SPC specifically, not counting like online courses, because that was just another thing in life I had to do every day. It was just like go on my computer for like an hour a day.
Right.
But like actually living at SPC,
Yeah.
you know, it was 5-6 hours away from my family, and like actually being in a dorm in person stuff like that. I mean, we could bring up the whole like
Do you mean like being like on your own, like
yeah, more like you're not worried about like
you're not coming home to people that
your parents aren't gonna like you can
plus
do what you want as soon as you get back to your
Yeah.
obviously following school rules in terms of certain things, but like in terms of when you go to bed, how long you can play games, be on your phone, when you eat, that's all up to you now.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like I want to say like getting a job and like having a car in like high school, while yes that's independent, it's not being on your own.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, most high schoolers and like whether they're working or not can come home to their parents and like not have to really do anything if they really want to, because most of the time the parents are going to be like, well, I mean, you're not in college, you're not a full adult yet, and we're still going to take care of you. Whereas like now it's like everything's coming out of my pocket. I'm a whole state away from like my family. It's just like it wasn't bad.
Right.
Like I enjoyed some days of it. It's just like if anything, it was just more like I think it was like almost noise difference. If that's makes sense.
I get that.
Like knowing that like somebody's yelling at us, like who it is. Like living on a dorm, you're like, I don't hang out with those guys. I don't know who it is, so I just kind of got to put up with it. Whereas like at home, you can kind of not complain, but you know what I mean. Almost
Like kind of
control
saying
it.
something.
Yeah, you can. Like, you could say something to some guy in the dorm, but like they're having their own independence.
Right.
They're trying to figure their stuff out. But what I was, in terms of like also being independent, I'm tough. Like hanging out with certain people, going to clubs, whole other line of things. But like I was saying, yeah, like
being able
college,
to experience things that your parents would never let you go.
Yeah,
right.
in your life.
it's like, just exactly what I thought college was gonna be like, but at the same time, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like it was almost like things you would have thought were realistically only in movies, if anything, actually happening, and you're like, you wake up the next morning, you're like, you're just like, no way. Or the differences were like not differences, but like almost the lies your like high school teachers told you about college.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm
But
sure.
we also can't say that they were less because we have more technology than they did back then, such as our computers and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's like,
Well, for
they
them,
were-
they
I
actually
mean, they're
had
in
to
a
write their
right
papers while we could just type.
yeah, but then like you would think they'd take that to knowledge.
No, because they're gonna make us fearful, and I mean they haven't been to college since they graduated. I mean, yeah,
What they were learning in college was what we were learning like sophomore year.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, but like basically just what you always see on TikTok, people like complain about is like, you're in elementary, and you're like, when you're an adult and you're in middle school, your teachers aren't going to accept this. And it's like, yes, for a while when a teacher would say that about the next grade or the next grade, whatever, it was true, but it was almost a decline.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost like seemed like teachers cared less and less. And it was more just like, you turn in your paper and get a grade or you don't.
Yeah.
No, and now you show up to class or you don't. You're not getting in trouble if you're getting class. So no one's going to come
are
up
taking attendance.
Yeah,
I know that.
I mean, more like no one's going to come and make you go to class.
Yeah.
No one's going to come say something.
Yeah.
If they see you, like if you finally go to class one day, they're going to probably ask to talk to you about it. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. You make it, and they can't say yes or no.
Right.
Like you either show up to class or you don't. You get an F or you don't. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, you're gonna have to figure out how to be an adult eventually.
Right.
And I'm like, now with college, it's just like it's completely different than what I would have thought, just based off the stories.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if like how different WT is compared to like SPC.
Compared to SPC, the community is definitely more spread apart than SPC. Because at SPC,
everybody knows everybody, or like
so at SPC, for the most part, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You're at least
like you may not hang up out with them,
but you've seen them around or maybe know their name or something.
Yeah.
At WT, you walk by people you never knew. That you've never seen before,
right?
Because there were new people that I was seeing every day. Because
the entire semester,
because more people. If I guess like at the school, at SPC specifically, not a lot of people go there in general. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of new cars and whatnot there, but you pretty much see everyone passing. Right. At WT, the amount of parking that is over there, one is insane, but
one is insane.
It's insane. The amount of parking that's there on campus is probably quadruple the amount that's at SPC.
Right.
Like in terms of people.
Oh yeah. Here, I'll put this into perspective. Our activity center is right across from my dorm. Mm-hmm. That parking lot alone can hold all of Lamar's, the front, back, and side. And it's also probably 2 or 3 times bigger than the one at the gym. Yeah, it's massive.
But it gets full.
It gets full. There's no parking. 8 o'clock hits, no parking at all. People got to park off campus and walk.
You gotta be walking there.
Yeah. They also got the bird scooters there, so you can ride those around. Because it's such a big campus. Huh?
I don't know if I can do that.
You can.
You think I'd be able to?
Easy, because all the controls are hands.
Oh yeah.
There's a brake and then there's the throttle. That's it. There's nothing that you put on the back. You just gotta stand on it. They're expensive though.
Is it like you put your card in or something?
No, so you download an app. It's got a QR code. You scan that, and it'll have your banking information. You gotta start it up for like $2, right? But every minute is like 45 cents.
Yeah.
So I was riding to class one time. And what felt like 30, a minute or 2 just to get over there, I ended up paying like $6 just to ride to class real quick.
That's crazy. Gee, I would just buy my own electric.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm a big enough guy. I don't know. I can't find any at the moment. Because the ones I've been seeing are like 175. I'm like,
weight limit?
Yeah, weight limit. I gotta find one of those heavy duties.
Yeah. Or just get like a regular skateboard.
I can't ride skateboard, bro. I can't.
I bust ass on a skateboard. So
I would only ride it like either sitting down or laying down on it.
That's crazy.
You ever like lay down on it and like go down a hill?
I know what you're talking
about. No, but I know what you mean.
Did I ever tell you the story when I did that? I was at a friend's house in Dallas. I think we were like at an Airbnb or something like that for soccer. Well, his cousin had a skateboard and we were living on like this hill at the moment. So he's like, yeah, you can, they were going, like block maybe down and then kind of crashing off into the grass to slow themselves down. I decided though, I was like, I'm going to go a little bit farther than they are. this truck starts backing out of its garage. And it got to the part where it was about to hit that dip, and I flew underneath the truck. And they were freaking out. They stopped. I crashed into the thing to make sure that they were okay. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you good?" I was like, "I'm fine." But everyone was freaking out. And I was like, "What?" Yeah. It was a lifted truck, thankfully. So it was slightly higher than what it needed. Not like super lifted, like
your death experience, bro.
Oh no, about there, just enough for my thing.
Dude,
Mm-hmm. I thought it was okay. I was like, okay.
Were you freaking out?
No,
like,
I was like, oh my god, I did that, but
like, oh my gosh, where am I going? But you didn't like freak out, like as you saw the truck.
I mean, because they were just sitting in the car, so I didn't know it was on.
Right.
And then they started backing out. I was like, oh shoot, okay.
I could have died.
Yeah.
I didn't get rid of that car. Pretty close. Almost.
That'd be the next episode.
Next episode.
How to find a crane.
How to win 1v1.
Yeah.
This is a train.
Well, I don't know. Did you win?
No. You lost. I'm still here. I didn't get like knocked out. I didn't even tap out, bro. It just left. It left the arena, dude. I was just sitting there just, dang, I think I lost, but maybe I won by
Default.
Yeah, default.
The crane left.
Yeah, dude.
I'm still left the lobby.
Yeah, I'm backed out. Speaking of stuff.
Okay. That's an interesting name.
We are? Oh. Yeah, y'all can't see the screen. Y'all got any interesting topics you want to talk about and discuss?
Not really.
Do you have any like scary stories?
Scary stories. You mean the flashlight under our face and everything?
No, like personal paranormal activities, like you.
Paranormal?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, you could. Because I got like one or two back when I was a kid.
Is it interesting?
Was it interesting?
Is it interesting?
I don't know. Me, it kind of was. I was kind of worried about it.
You can tell it if you want.
Is yours? Yeah, you can tell yours.
I was telling you part of it.
Oh, wasn't it the one whenever you hear your like footsteps like with your
I heard
footsteps
walking around. So my brother was asleep. My mom was asleep. I was playing like Rocket League or something. You know, the best game ever created. But
he's lying.
No, Rocket League's the best. Anyways, I was playing that, and while I was sitting there playing, I felt something underneath my feet kind of like shaking just a little bit, but like it was like a little shake stop. And so I finished up that game, and I took my headset off and I set it down, and it was like super quiet, and all I hear is just these slow, just footsteps, just walking around in the living room. I was like, oh, that's probably Aspen or whatever.
Right.
But it just kept going. And I think I sat there for like 2 or 3 minutes just listening to it, just trying to see, because it wasn't changing pace at all. It was like it was pace, like a pace.
Something like knocking on something else.
No, nothing was knocking. So then I opened my door, and the door shut, and I go out there. My mom sleeps with hers open, so I just see this black abyss into her room, whatever. And I don't know why she will not sleep with it closed all the way. But I step out there, and the little walking sound stops.
Right.
And I'm like, just sitting out there for a second. I'm like, okay, whatever. I go back into my room. I sit down, and I wait a minute, and then it starts the little walking again. And so I take my phone out and I go out there and I'm looking. I'm like, because it stopped now. As soon as I walk, it stops. And yeah, it just kept going. I was like, I'm playing Rocket League. That was about it.
I've had like, I don't encounters, but like, I don't think necessarily paranormal. I think
like
me personally,
or it was just your imagination.
Yeah, most like that, not necessarily like, because like a lot of people, I've told like even adults this, and they're like, "You're crazy if you don't believe in like ghosts or like spirits." I'm like, I don't. I've never encountered anything that I haven't been able to explain, or that scared me enough to where I'm like, okay, this is really happening. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like people shouldn't believe in ghosts or like. I'm just like, me personally, yeah. I'm just like, I'm not like, oh, there's a scientific reason. It's just like,
if I know,
my mind immediately is like,
you have to experience it,
like
just for it to believe.
You have to like, I'd have almost seen, like that. Like I'm not saying like necessarily like, all seeing is believing, but like something like that, I feel like I would need to like understand, like, or at least have the fear part of it. Right. So. Trying to think of which one to go with. Oh, I know one. What do I say? Because this is a personal story, dude.
Don't say it out loud.
It's not like it's bad. It's more just like a. It's like a. Is that awkward? Is it awkward to talk about? It's more like the thing. Like, if somebody was listening to this story, they're gonna be like, why would you tell us that?
Why would you tell us that story?
Like, yeah, that's creepy, but like, why would you say that? Like, why would you bring that up? So now I'm trying to think of. Okay. Yes and no on sleep paralysis in terms of it working on you.
Right.
Because, and this is what I mean by that, like, yes, I think it's a form of sleep paralysis, but I don't think it's like where I absolutely can't do anything. It's more like it's showing up in my vision, but I'm still free to move.
Right. I know.
And so like, here's one. So for a while, I couldn't sleep with my door closed. Like now, I have to almost have my room like pitch black to sleep. Like if there's any light, I'll probably wake up, or noise for that matter, because I sleep
or no fan.
Yeah, I sleep cold, dark, and light.
Yeah.
So like for this one, this was back when I lived in Muleshoe, so I think I was going to Sudan at the time.
Right.
Basically, I had like painted part of my room like black.
Right.
Like one of my walls was black. I was going to do the Black Ops 3 sign on it.
Do
all black, and then use like a bright orange. And do and so that's kind of what my thought was. So I had like this. So at night when it's black and you turn off your lights, literally outer space, just right there on the side. Like you think it goes on forever, even though you know in your head, like back in the deep part of your mind, it's a wall. Well, it's not that. It was more like it makes your room feel smaller. I don't know if you knew that. Like if you paint one of your walls black, it makes your room seem like it's
it's like an illusion.
Yeah, it's an optic illusion. Like obviously it's not, but it's gonna make it seem that way. And basically, I'm laying in bed, and our hallway light got left on. So like my bed's laying this way on like this side of the room. Like there's a square. My bed's here, door's here, hallway's lights on. So like I can see like this just outline of a door that's just bright, you know. And I can't remember, but I wake up at like 4, 5 in the morning, and I see something crawling on the ceiling. It was just black, like Slender Man, but like smaller creature. Crawl onto my ceiling, and I'm like, at this point, I couldn't move, and it falls. Like it just drops like, smack on the ground. I bolt out the room. I'm like, I would have ran over homie. Like, oh my gosh, homie doesn't bring homies. Jesus, I would have ran on top of him. I went out. I grabbed the TV remote, turned the TV remote on, turned on like Cartoon Network or like Disney or something. Did not go back in my room. It was a school night. My mom walks in that morning before she wakes us up, and she goes, "Are you watching like Nickelodeon?" I'm like, and so finally the sun comes up and I can see like lights coming from my room. Like my room starts to light. So I walk in the room. Yo, homie, you in here, dude? Like, yo, you here, bro? Yeah, and then from there I was just like, there's gonna be an explanation. Or I've had like paralysis dreams where my bed gets covered in spiders.
Right.
And I'll turn on the light, I'll throw my blanket, I'll start throwing the sheets everywhere. I'm just like, Fuck y'all that, bro. I'm like, I'll kill you, dude, swear. And I'm like, oh, there's no spider. Yeah, dude. Dear David's coming from tree.
Nah.
You're his sleep paralysis, dude.
Nah.
You're his.
Okay, touch me.
Yeah. So my story. My story. So it happened whenever I was like 8 or 9. Whenever like it was like the first time I went to Mexico or whatever. And
Mistaken wrong.
so back when I was like kind of using my mom's phone just to watch YouTube videos or whatever. I was watching like urban legends and stuff like that. So I remember my mom's telling me the urban legend. So it's like La Llorona, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Weeping Woman. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Yeah. But if you don't know, it's like pretty much she drowns her kids, kills her kids, and then now she's haunt the streets of Mexico. And like if you hear her weeping, saying these eagles,
You're dead.
Don't get near her. Don't do anything. Stay inside your house, whatever. So my cousins were like making fun of it. They're like, "Oh, dude, the sleeping woman's gonna come get you because you're from the States and all this extra stuff."
From the States.
And because you're like, you know. And then I remember we were just playing basketball and them just keep saying that. So I was laying down. So this is my grandparents' house. We just laying down. We had a separate room. So it was me, my sister, and all my cousins. We went to sleep, and then I kid you not, I heard that someone saying, "Where's my kids?" Like for like all night, and then I saw some shadow figure like walk into like that window to like across this house of my grandparents' house, and I couldn't sleep that entire night.
Bro, Mexican grandparents' houses are crazy.
But you know, I was like, nah, it could be just my imagination because I was like a kid and I was like, maybe I was just
Your imagination.
Yeah.
As well.
And then all I heard is my dad was like, I couldn't sleep last night. And I was like, my grandparents and everybody else was like, ¿Por qué? You know, like why? You didn't like the bed or something? He's like, no, I just heard something keep on saying, my kids, where are they? And all this extra stuff. And he also saw the shadow figure.
You killed him.
And he's like, he also saw the shadow figure and stuff like that. So I was like, at that time, I'm like, oh, fuck. You know, it's like, thank God that she didn't go through the window seeing all of those, you know, or like whatever. So my dad was, so I told my dad that, and my dad was like, well, that's my third encounter. Yeah, because like my dad has like stories. I can tell stories about back then with my dad. But yeah, that was like one of the encounters of paranormal. I had like multiple encounters, but all of them weren't like life-threatening like that one, I guess. All of them were like
Just
like kind of like my imaginary, like I think it's more of my little kid me who just like, oh, my imaginary self was like, oh, look, the door's opening and closing. Oh, it's because of the fan. You know. But yeah, I mean that was like quote unquote like real encounter, but it could be some drunk woman just trying to pretend she's like loud or something. But
did I ever tell you the story about when my mom called one of those people that can like hear spirits and stuff?
like a psychic.
Sidekick?
Kinda. Except she does it more of like an experiment kind of thing and like help other people out how to get rid of Ghostbusters group. Oh, she would like help with. She'd like tell you what you can do and then like pray over the house. Like they're supposed to be like at the house, but she does it like over the phone because they had a.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were supposed to, but they had another thing that they were having to go do. I think were they out of state at the time for someone else, I think. And she's like, I could just do it over the phone. Well, so my mom puts her on speaker and whatnot. I was walking her around the house. She said, oh, you know, I can hear all this other stuff. Well, she says, okay, this is what I need you to do. Put me in random location. Like, just set the phone down in a random location.
Right.
And make sure it's on speaker, and then I just need you to walk away. She's like, okay. She goes, don't say anything. Don't tell me where you're going or where you're putting me, okay? So she sets it down in her closet. Her closet, she thinks there's this, like, kid spirit in there. But it's like a mean kind of spirit.
Oh, no, it's not.
And she's seen it. She said that it actually, like, came over and like started pulling on her one time. And yeah,
It's just some actual kid.
she thought it was Aspen at one point. And when she went to go check on Aspen, he was dead, so he rose after that. But anyway, so back to the phone thing. So she sets her down in her closet. She doesn't say anything. She just walks away. And she walks back into the living room, just kind of listening and waiting. And she hears the lady just start yelling like, "Hey, get me out of here!" And so she runs in and grabs it. She goes, "What's in that closet?" But mom never told her where she was. She did not mention that there was a closet. She hasn't mentioned the spirit in the closet. She said there's a kid spirit in here, and it does not want it. It doesn't like y'all being here.
Right.
And
At this house?
yeah, at the house that they are currently at.
I've stayed in this house before, bro.
Yeah.
I'm never going back.
But that's the thing, is like I can't see it. Aspen and my mom can.
Aspen's on?
Aspen can see shit.
That's crazy.
Aspen and my mom can. I cannot. I barely started hearing anything, and that was just the footsteps.
Right.
They get messed around with.
You don't.
I don't. I've got messed with one time,
Right.
and that was when I was like a kid.
I know.
And I kind of said, "Yeah, I'm going back to sleep."
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because my dad, like, prior he like does like a lot of like manual work. He does like a lot of church stuff. So he's especially like the Catholic Church, or whatever. So he used to become like the reader of the book. So he used to read John's to Revelations. Because if you go to the church, like, so statistically, if you go to Catholic Church every week, you finish the Bible every 2 years. Because it's a verse every single week, whatever. So my dad kind of has like kind of feels the spirits and stuff like that because he was a very holy man, whatever. And one time my cousin, his name was Rudy. He used to live over there. But we one Sunday, whenever they had like their annual cookout. He was acting weird. He was like all by himself, not hanging out with me or any of his best friends and stuff like that. He was just in his room, total darkness, whatever. And my uncle yelled out, "Rudy, get your ass down here!" And he went down, and homie was throwing up, like out of like everywhere.
Homie just wanted to be in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted. I was like, it is. My dad was like,
he was sick.
They thought he was sick or whatever, and then he was like saying like crazy crap in his mouth and stuff like that. And he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he was like, "I'm going back to my room." And he slammed like. Apparently, I didn't see it, but my dad and my uncle did see it. Once he gets to his room, the door shuts, and he did not touch that door. And then my dad was like, "Okay, I got this. Whatever. Give me like an egg and some other things."
You ever heard about the egg trick? It works.
It works every single time.
It's real.
I don't believe in this stuff, so it's like
I do, because it was used on me.
For me, it's just more like
not for the same reason.
But
no.
So apparently my dad is like, there's some like someone put like some bad omen on it.
Yeah,
because that's like it's
weird. You rub it on the forehead.
So
and what it's supposed to do is get all the bad things in your head out.
Beats me, guys. Beats me.
I don't know.
Well, it works. I don't know how.
It
like
works.
my dad says like you have to like he's like one of the steps you have to be a holy person. You have to serve the church, whatever. That's one of the main things that it will work. But he got an egg and then he did a prayer and whatever. And then it represents like I don't know.
Wait, do what?
Like the egg. He explained it to me. My dad did. He was like, it represents
why can't you could just use a piece of white bread?
I'm being honest, it's something with the Mexican culture.
It's like it represents pureness.
Yeah.
Because how white represents pure. And like
there's like brown eggs and stuff.
Huh?
You can't just use a brown egg.
No, it has to be a white egg. Because it has to be pure. Because the white
it just came out of a chicken's bum, bro. Like it's
rub it
no.
on the head and it's supposed to suck out all the bad things.
Because
going on with you.
And
either bad things that people have wished on you.
Listen,
either things that people have wished bad upon you, or any bad thoughts in your head.
Yeah, or any.
Mine was used for a sickness. I was sick. No, I was sick. Then within 5 hours
when you're sick.
Huh?
Then why don't you do it now if you're sick?
Because I don't want. You know how expensive eggs are nowadays?
No,
it's
it's
not
not a gas
So-
station.
it's not
Or
worth it.
2-pack.
But anyways, so the white, because the color white is pure. So he said some prayers and whatever, and then he, like once he finished, he cracked the egg. So pretty much, I forgot what it was.
released.
Yeah. So he cracks the egg and he put it in the bottle and lets it under his bed because he said that all that energy will go inside that egg, and once it finished boiling, he should be fine by the next morning. So the next morning, my dad like showed up. The egg was fully cooked underneath underneath the bed where the cup is, and my uncle was like, "What the actual fuck did you do to my son?" He was like, "It's not a quote unquote exorcist. It's more of like taking
That's nasty.
it's more of like taking that bad energy he had and just manifesting it to that egg, because you know."
I'm gonna go to your
Well, it's
see
kinda-
eggs and be like, ooh,
Well, it's kind of like how
spoopy.
it's kind of like how saints had like their miracles, like under the Catholic Church. Like each saint has a different miracle. Saint Jude, he's like the healer, and like Saint Peter, he's like restored the faith of God in you. No matter how many times you reject him, he's gonna love you even more. So it's like he's like kind of like if you each saint kind of gives you a little bit of powers. Like you have to represent it by good and purity ways, kind of like how God wants you to have it. But it's up to God if He wants you to have like at least a healing-ish power or a quote unquote like a priest, a preacher, or father figure, if that makes sense. Because like how doctors are, maybe because Saint Jude just like tell God, hey, make him as a doctor, or make this person a priest, because Peter is like, hey, I need more priests in the world, stuff like that. That's how I see it in the world, because each saint helps God, and God was like, hey, like kind of like Noah, like, hey, build an ark. I'm resetting the world for one more time before anything.
He has the reset button.
He does.
I mean, I
Where's
guess
my
I
reset
get it
button?
for like the way you explain it in terms of like, I guess Catholic Church or whatever.
Because
I mean, I guess it's just different for me.
yeah, because we don't worship the saints. Of course we would be like, okay, what saint you want to be? Like mine was Saint Peter, and I had to write a whole paper about like why I connected with Saint Peter. It's not like I just like Saint Peter because he's well known or whatever. And like you have to write in depth like why and personally you choose Saint Jude, or personally why you choose Pete, whoever, or Archangel Michael, right? It's like kind of like that. Like kind of like that's pretty much what it is. We don't like worship them. We idolize them, sure, but we still worship God. That's the person we worship. We idolize everybody else. We don't quote unquote boss, like we boss worship. We idolize them, but we worship God Himself, because God gave them the powers. Why would should we worship these guys if God did not exist, right? So it's kind of like that. But under like Catholicism and stuff like that, it's just weird. All in all.
Not like going on that exact topic, but like, how to explain it? Okay, so like they were Catholic. Like, that's how it kind of connects. These people were Catholic. So, not the woman my dad's married to now. They never got married. They had a child together, but they were dating.
Right.
They just lived together.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So her parents, we would go to their like house quite a bit, and they lived in Hereford, and like they only spoke Spanish. So like for us to communicate, we would have to like tell like it would have to be us and our cousins,
Right.
or not blood cousins, but I mean just because they were dating or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we stayed the night there a couple of times. Well, like the adults would always be downstairs either cooking, talking, doing stuff. So all the kids would always usually go upstairs. And, yeah. Well, there was like one room, like I never entered is just because like my cousin, like at the time, I would have been 7-ish.
Right.
I've been young. Like they scared me back then because they said one of the room, like somebody died in, and their body parts were never taken out of it. They were like just hanging. And I was like, yo, what is this saw shit, dude? Like, am I in a trap now? Like, is my leg gonna get caught and I'm gonna have to like cut it off to, get out? Yeah. And so one of the things, like one of my cousins said, I was like, now looking back on it, it's the dumbest thing. Like, there's no way. But like back then, just like the whole thing, you're just like,
yeah, back then, when you're like gullible.
No, yeah.
Let me think of the old way to put this. Not like the gullible thing, but just like what she said wasn't that I found. Now that I'm older, I found out really soon. She said a man's special area had been taken off and was hanging from the ceiling.
Heck yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, no way, dude.
The room is all red.
So she'd be like, I'm gonna go in there. And I was like, no, dude, you can't do it. You're gonna die. The homie that did all this, he's in there. He's just waiting for the next victim. And so she'd be like, you guys be on the lookout just in case like grandma comes up and stuff, because she didn't want me in here because of this. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, be safe, come back out if anything happens. She's like, okay. She opens the door, slams the door, locks. I'm like, she's dead. I immediately left. I walked downstairs. I was like, we're good. I was like, I'm never seeing her again. That's why, like, 30 minutes go by. I'm just sitting downstairs. I'm like,
should I tell someone?
Yeah. And like, they're eating, or they're not eating, they're making like dinner. They were making like Pop-Ups and like carne. So, and I was waiting for food. I was just like, sitting at the table there. Why aren't you playing with the kids? I'm like, there is no kids. No, I'm just
They died.
They're dead. I understand, Grandma. At the time, I didn't say that, but I was just like, what kid? Like in my mind, I was like, I'm the last one. This is the last one, bro. Like, I'm a survivor. And they're like, go get the kids for dinner. I'm like, no, I'm good. Because they didn't turn the single light on when we went upstairs.
Right.
And this is this is on the outside of her. So outside,
right,
so like cattle. Trees and cattle, and then like all those like Catholic church and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not going up there. And like, go get them or you're gonna be in trouble. I'm like, they're like, go up there, we're gonna get you in trouble, and you're gonna be like, sit down and time out or whatever. I'm like, fine. There's a TV in there. I'll just watch TV. I'm fine. And they're like, go get it. Okay, so I walk up the stairs and I was like, I start going up there and they're just sitting there. They're just in the hallway talking. And I'm like, I thought y'all died, bro. I was like, y'all didn't say anything. Y'all didn't come downstairs to see where I went. And then they turned it on me. They're like, you were supposed to be on the lookout. No one came up here, bro. 30 minutes. Like, yeah, y'all were dead for 30 minutes. In my mind, y'all were gone. In my mind, I was an only child. In my mind, I was gonna live to tell the tale. And y'all were gonna be hanging up next to me. And I think there was one point where I went into that room. I don't think I went into it. I turned the key, threw up the door, and just stood in the hallway. It was just like a storeroom. There were just toys and stuff on the floor, and I was like, "Oh." I made sure to go up in the day because I would have not pissed myself. And I was just like, "Oh, this is just a storage room." So I just shut it and went back downstairs, and I was just like, "Wonder if they died." I was like, I didn't see anything, and then that was like a genuine moment where I was like, genuinely fucked up in the head. I legitimately thought somebody was gonna die.
That sounds about me every time when people are like, let's play Bloody Mary. I'm like, oh hell
dude,
no.
I never once did that. I didn't have the balls to do that.
Dude, no, because I was forced to do it one time because one of my friends, he was like, dude, you have to do it or you're getting kicked out of the house.
That's crazy.
And I was like, that's crazy.
That's wild.
But he was like, No, bro, we had to do it. We all did it. And I was like, nah, let me see first. He was like, all right, fine. He went to the, like, you know, shut it down or whatever. He went to his bathroom. He yelled, Bloody Mary, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say it 3 times because I don't know.
Well, nothing would happen right now.
We
We don't have candles going and you're not in a dark bathroom.
I have candles, I do have them.
No, but it's not on.
Oh, yeah.
And it also, I think it had to be like an enclosed bathroom. With no,
Yeah.
like no windows or anything.
No windows, nothing, and then a mirror.
But there's 3 doors.
Yeah, you can
No,
close
like
all
4
3
doors
doors.
are on.
Yeah, you can
that
close
would
all
work though.
No, because there's no mirror in the bathroom.
There is.
That big one?
That big mirror.
Like you're talking like where the sink is.
Does it have to be like a full bathroom?
I don't know. I don't know what the
That's
rules
why
are.
it's like stupid because it's just
Yeah.
like
There's
there's
something
no
else saying.
specifics in that
Yeah.
to
So,
fully do it.
yeah.
The consensus is just a room without windows, lights off, singular candle lit, not multiple, singular candle sitting in front of you, your mirror, door.
Yeah.
You know, normal bathroom.
Yeah, and then you just have to say Bloody Mary 3 times.
You lock it, you're supposed to.
So hypothetically, then, would our rooms at Lamar be bathrooms?
Yes.
No, because
Because
there's
they
a
have
window
windows.
in there.
Well, you have to be by yourself.
Okay, if there was no window.
But even then, you have to be by yourself.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
No.
But you've got a sink and a mirror.
Nah.
I don't think it would be like that.
But
So the toilet would have to be in the room.
no.
No,
For it to be
I
a
don't-
bath.
no, that's
Okay,
what we're
for it
saying.
to be
is
a
there's
bath.
no- That's why we're saying there's no like consensus on what counts or what's not. I just know like the story of it is
Yeah.
what I
In a bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom, there's a mirror,
But-
whatever. But
there's no specific on like what would actually work and what wouldn't.
so he was
Because
like,
then like you could try it and if nothing happened, you're like, oh, because it's this
yeah.
or it's this. It's like okay, well then what actually works? Because then other people that swear I saw someone, but
Yeah.
this was different than what they say it is. It's like,
But anyways, homie was like there. Like we didn't use a candle because we didn't hear the version of the
iPhone.
candle. Well, we were like, I want to say we were like 11, so we didn't have iPhones. We were just like, you know, a bunch of kids trying to stay at night at my homie's house. But my best friend at the time, he was like, you know, he did it. And it was like, all right, fine. You guys are a bunch of pussies, anyways. And then he closed it, and all you hear is Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Like 2 minutes later, he opens the door. See, nothing happened. And I was like,
there's just some.
I was like, yeah, it's just a doppelganger, just swap or something. But I were like, and then I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna do it too. So it was Gabriel, or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys know Gabriel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was there. So I was like, all right, fine. And I was like, Lord,
He's saving me from this is me. I didn't say yes. I said no. Consensual.
it's like kind of like you said. It's like kind of like you get
like
gullible.
somebody else. Yeah. Like
So I said Bloody Mary, whatever. And I thought I heard something.
You know, them messing with you on the outside.
It was weird.
Possible.
It was a possible chance, but according to them, they put like you know their lives on it. They didn't do anything or anything. And I was like, we're a bunch of kids.
on my dead granny.
Yeah, kind of like that. But he was
My
like,
mama.
my mother. I believe it was my mother. But I swear I heard something. It was like a curtain was like moving or something, and I was like, what the heck? And once I looked back in the mirror, I just saw like it was like a person with no eyes. And I opened the door as quickly as possible, and you know, he was like, "What's going on?"
Get out my face.
And I feel sorry for him, bro, because I got scared and always scared him, and I punched him. And he was like, "What did you do that, bro?" And I was like, "Dude, I saw something in that fucking bathroom. I'm not going to that bathroom ever in my life."
Yeah.
And then his dad walked in. He was like, "You guys are just being boys." And we were like, "Yeah." And then homie was like
You
there.
just got cock on your penis.
And then homie was just there because I didn't hit him in the eye. I just hit him like
On the side of the
the
head.
head or something, just so he did it, whatever. And homie was like, "Yeah, we were wrestling or whatever." And he was like, "Okay, like, what did I tell you guys? Don't play like that horror shit, because you know that's bad energy in this house. I don't want that." His dad served in and all. He's an old guy, but his dad served me and all, so he believed in bad juju and stuff, kind of. And so yeah, after that, I was like, I think it was more of my imagination running wild at the moment.
like I guess I could kind of go into like scary movies as well. Like I can watch any horror movie now and like go to sleep, like fine. But there were a few movies that like messed me up when I was a child that I was like that actually could not make me go to sleep.
But
now
Ghost Adventures.
I watched Ghost Adventures.
Okay,
I would watch that. I would not go to sleep.
Okay. Name like 3 like horror TV shows or like movies or TV shows that like frightened you as a kid. Ghost Adventures
was my
like
number
3.
one.
3.
I don't know about.
He's like Goosebumps. I have
Ghost.
I have like 3.
I was supposed to be getting ready for a soccer tournament that night, right? So me and my friend, he invited me over to stay with them, and we watched a Ghost Adventure. He went to sleep like it was nothing. I was sitting there in my covers, looking around like this shit's not coming from me, right?
That vase we've had a little too long.
Yeah.
It's got bad energy, bro.
I did not sleep that entire night. The next game I was so tired.
Yeah.
It was bad. But now I was so dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
The production's like good, but it's so bad.
Yeah. I go back and watch it. I was like, first off, they didn't find anything in this.
I see the wire. So I guess my 3, one of them might like unlock a memory if
Maybe YouTube
you
too.
watched it.
Let's add YouTube also.
I don't really watch much.
I did.
I've watched
the 3 a.m. videos.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like YouTube.
Okay,
stuff.
but like with that, so I couldn't name anything specific
Right.
on YouTube. I just like videos. So the 3 movies I showed, 2 movies and one of them was a show. So 2 movies was Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Oh, okay.
That came out in like 2012 or something.
Yeah. Was that on Nickelodeon?
No,
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, because they had like a TV show called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but this was Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. 2010.
Let me see.
Let's see if I can find like the
But
I don't know if you remember that.
the little girl does look familiar.
But basically, like they move into a new house and
Oh,
there's like no women's in it.
That picture looks familiar.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it came out in like 2010. Look up "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark" 2010 movie. But yeah, basically, the premise is young girl and their family move to this new house, and it's got like demons and stuff, and like the demons befriend the girl, and then like, but like the whole time it's just like a plan to like murder the family. And one of the scenes, this was the one scene that made me never watch the movie, never think about the movie again. I mean, as much as like,
Have you watched it again?
no. Oh yes, actually yes, a couple of years back.
oh, okay.
I was
Like,
no,
I've
we'll
only
watch
watched
after
it
this.
twice. It's not. Looking back on it, it's not scary. It was the one scene that terrified me because of what happened.
So what was
I don't know. So girl's taking a bath. So little girl doesn't show anything. Don't know worry about it. So she's taking a bubble bath, right? And she sees the lights turn on, and so the lights are on, and the door's open. She sees this like hand. And the door closes, and the hand hits the switch, and then like black, and then and this is like in the trailer, and like the hand hits it, goes black. You just hear this, and it scares me because at first I was like, dang, they got her. When I was a kid, I was like, dang, she got. But one night, not too long after I watched this movie, I'm taking a bath, and the light in the bathroom goes off, and I'm freaking.
Did someone just turn off?
No, I have no idea. But the creepiest thing is, in the trailer, she sees the hand through a mirror in the bathroom. Like she sees like the bathroom mirror, and she sees the reflection of it. There's a reflection of our mirror onto where the light switch is, and the light switch is down. I'm like. And there's a cabinet that was next to the bathtub. So here's the bathroom, right? You got tub, like this little like cabinet where you put your towels and stuff, and then toilet, sink and mirror, door, light switch, and the cabinet was slightly open. The top cabinet, you can't see what's in the cabinet. It's just pitch black. It's open like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I unplug the drip. I get up. Without looking, here's the cabinet. I move the curtain. I immediately close it. I press my hand on there, and I grab a top, walk out booty naked, straight into my room across the hallway, dude. Because I was freaking out. Because I was like, yo, those demons, you want to watch that movie, bro? They're here. So that's probably like the most like traumatic like scene in a movie. The other one, so the next movie, the first Paranormal Activity movie.
Oh, that one.
I don't even know if I've seen
I've
that.
watched
Actually,
it.
second.
No, I watched
Because the first one is it's not a prequel. It's like, okay, so Paranormal Activity 2, the beginning of Paranormal Activity 2 takes place before Paranormal Activity 1, and then the second half of the movie takes place after Paranormal Activity.
It's just like time traveling.
Here's number 1, here's number 2. It splits like that.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, so it's just like it like cuts to the future.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know the storyline behind it, really good storyline when you get older and you actually, the movies were just kind of like
Average.
when you look back on them, yeah, they were pretty mid because the budget was like a few grand.
Right.
Because it was literally like some guy and his friends hooking up a camera and just like having practical effects of like pillows and doors and stuff moving, fake footprints. The second movie really scared me because so basically what happens is these two girls, they're sisters, they were like, in the past, they were like possessed by this like spirit named Toby. And it's the spirit of like a kid that died or something like that. And now it's a demon that haunts them. Well, it messed with them when they were little and they got powers when they were little. Like they got possessed by this demon with its powers. So now the girls are grown and they have their family. Well, the main couple, the girl hasn't like had any supernatural things since then. So, but then things start happening when they move into this house in Carlsbad. For this Carlsbad, California. And the name kind of freaked me out. I was like, oh, CA. Okay,
CA,
cool.
California.
I'm good, yeah. And, but basically, the other sister gets possessed again when she's little. And basically, she's trying to steal the couple's child. Well, so one night, the dad's downstairs. He's watching like TV. The mom's upstairs, comforting the baby home. Well, the sister gets possessed, drives up to their house, walks into the the living room, snaps the dad's neck.
Yep.
But it makes the funniest sound. It's like he like when his neck breaks, it sounds like spaghetti noodles, and he like jumps. So it's like it falls, and it's the funniest sound you'll ever hear if you watch it now. But the next part is what like is super funny, but it's really terrifying because you're like, gosh. So just lifeless girl walks up the stairs into the room, and she goes, I think it's like Sarah or something is the name of like the possessed one. The mom's like, Sarah, like, and she force blast her like into the wall instantly. Like she throws her up into the corner like the baby can. Like really, she just walks in. She goes here and she goes, and the mom into the stratosphere of the like wall, and then she like grabs the baby, walks out of the house, and like just steals the baby, leaves their two bodies.
Yeah.
And so like when I was a kid, that messed me up. I was like, bro, just kidnapped a kid and killed the parents. Like,
Yeah.
So that was like the movie that like creeped me out. And then here's the final thing, because these were good though. These were scary, but as in like I felt fine watching them, but they were genuinely creepy. Not Goosebumps, but All Signs of the Haunting Hour. Do you remember that? The intro scene?
Yeah.
The eyes under the bed, dude?
Yeah.
That, I would be like, you would get a warning. It was on ABC Family, but it was like a cartoon
It was
Network,
for
like Goosebumps, but it was for
I
like
think
teen.
mine was for what was it?
Like what channel?
No, yeah, my channel was the kind of like
Mine was Fantasy Family.
mine wasn't ABC Family. Mine was like a subdivision of it, of like them owning. I forgot what it was. It's like the planet, like kind of Animal Planet, but it was something planet.
Discovery Planet?
Discovery Planet for kids. That's what they showed it for.
Dude, that's a crazy show.
Yeah.
Like you would get a whole like viewer discretion is advised
Yes.
for a kids channel.
Yeah.
Dude.
They're like, if you're too
Dude,
young to watch this,
do not watch. We suggest watching together as a family. Like you say, my whole family's gonna get scared.
Dude, I watched this by myself, though.
Dude, it was genuinely had some like weird, like dark scenes, but the kid from Diary of a Kid Valley was in it.
Really?
Yeah.
China Lake was in it.
Yeah.
Or not China Lake. What was her name?
China McClain.
That was McLean, the one from Grown Ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in it. It was a lot of like
Well-known kid actors.
well known or up and coming kid actors from like kids movies and stuff. Like the one with Valley, it was like some like that ice cream thing. Like dude was like stealing kids and his ice cream and taking off.
Yeah.
He like the dude tried getting Rowley, but I don't remember what his name was. But then like he escaped, and now his job was to try to see what was really going on and stuff like that. And I think he ends up like dying or presumably dying.
Yeah.
But the intro cutscene, dude, I was pretty scared because it would start and like you would hear like these like wind noises, and it'd be a house like alone in the dark with the wind, and you would like start floating, and the window would be cracked up, and you would go through the thing, and there'd be like a bunch of like random off-putting like pictures and toys, like stuff that just like wouldn't be in a childhood. And then you hear a growl, and it goes to the bottom of the bed, and it's just black, and then you see like these barely visible glowing red eyes, and then it like jumps at you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the?
It's like it gave you a warning.
Yeah, like you got a
Give you a
warning
warning.
and a jump scare
Yeah.
before you even watch the show. You know it.
Dude, because of that show, before I was scared of Chucky, because of that show, the first 2 episodes was about a doll, a possessed doll.
Dude, that
The dolls freak me
dude.
out.
Okay, I remember the plot line to this. So this was genuinely like really like actually like a genuinely scary show. Like this was probably worse than Ghost Adventures in my opinion. Like the production value was really good.
But was it all like acted or were
Yeah.
This
So
is
it
all
wasn't like a based on true stories. It was just like
Or it's like pretty much
Written
Arnold
story.
Stein's books.
yeah, it was like
Okay.
Goosebumps, but for like teenagers.
Yeah.
Like,
It
young
just
adults.
ump up the horror from
Yeah.
what Goosebumps was.
Because like Goosebumps was also
Like an
made
80s.
in the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
was released on TV.
Well, back then,
Even
they were
the
like-
books weren't even that
Yeah.
scary. They were just like nice, like cool characters.
You know,
being jump scared from a book?
Yeah, that'd be wild. And as he opened the closet, the character or like the boogeyman jumped out and said, "Boo! Oh my god!" Throws the book. Oh my god! I can't do this no more. Holy shit! Mom, what happened? I'm scared. Where the book? There's nothing there. It's just a book. Get out. So basically, was it a garage sale thing, or was it like a sale of something? Where
she got it. She like her mom got it from like a garage sale or
Yeah,
something.
it was
Vintage,
basically
whatever.
like Annabelle. So basically, she gets this doll, and the girl dresses it up just like her.
Yeah.
Well, slowly the doll starts.
Oh,
going.
it was like kind of like, you know, the American Girls dolls. They like, oh, you can.
Or did the doll get possessed and decide to dress as her?
No, so it was a doll maker that possessed. No, so okay, so there's this doll maker.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so there's this doll maker. So she can tell each soul of each doll. Each doll wants to get played with. It wants to have to be faithful and stuff like that.
Once it's fully possessed.
Yeah. So when she fully created, it's just like, hey, I just want to be a doll. I don't want to be a human or whatever. Besides this one specific doll. She said that this doll's bad. I don't want to sell her. But the higher ups were like, no, we need an extra doll for this customer. And she was like, no, this doll will hunt people,
Yeah,
whatever.
she was like,
She wants to be a human, not a doll or whatever. And they're like, you're just a crazy old hag.
Yeah.
Give me the doll. And so they gave it to the little girl. So throughout the whole like the two-parter, the little girl is slowly becoming a doll.
I think I've seen this clip.
Yeah,
It was on
so, like,
TikTok.
the
but
doll
I think I've seen
slowly
that.
starts
Becoming-
pulling crap,
Yeah.
and they start yelling at the daughter.
Yes.
The daughter's doing it.
Yeah.
But the doll is actually the one that's doing all the pranks.
Yep.
It gets to the point where the mom prefers the doll
All
over the girl.
over the-
She's
yeah,
like,
the dog.
this should have been my daughter. Not.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah.
just
And then once that happens, doesn't it start the transition?
Yeah, kind of-
turning her into
kind of
the girl?
cringy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, so once it finally transitions, the mom kind of realizes something off because the doll's not exactly like their daughter. And things kind of start not adding up correctly. And so the doll that's now a human pretends like she's the girl. The actual girl's like the doll now. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go throw it away, mommy. Like, I don't want. I've grown up, just to get rid of her. Well, then the mom was it a dumpster? Where the mom finds it? Yeah, the mom finds it in a dumpster.
And she's
And it's like a necklace or something about the doll.
like kind of seem off.
Yeah, and then she realized like,
And
oh,
cried.
this one doesn't have it, but this one does, and my daughter has this, but the doll didn't. And then she realizes like this is her daughter, so then like the mom starts crying like and it brings her back. And the doll becomes
But the doll, the
human doll comes a doll,
back to the doll.
and then they throw her away, and then like somebody else finds her.
Yeah, it was, dude. That entire show was like that.
There
nonstop.
was like an abandoned bowling alley.
There's like a video game one.
I want to see it, but I just don't know like where it's available.
We can look it up.
But it's good. They're not like long, and they're not short. They're like 20, 30 minutes. each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was like 2 seasons, and each season had like 8 episodes or something like that. But how far are we into this? Because I think
Pretty far.
We're pretty far.
we're an hour and 55 in. We're
Yeah.
25 minutes over. I mean, it's kind of what some podcasts turn into, just into the conversation.
To make mine pretty quick, I'm just gonna do a movie, a TV show, and whatever. So a movie will be So this movie is really hard to find apparently because my parents had it on whenever Mushu had that like a Blockbuster type of thing. It's called like movie whatever. So you had to have a membership whatever. So quick story, like these flies possesses people and like becomes zombies and like the flies whatever. So it kind of like I was like 5 years old watching that. I was afraid of flies for like a good 2 years. And then a TV show will be like kind of like the R.L. Steins, but they reenact real life urban legends for kids. So there was like one host and she was like with a candle and she's like, so you guys want to hear about the black-eyed children in Texas? And she blows off the candle and like these kids will reenact like what happened of these like couple in Texas, like they encountered these black-eyed children. So they did one for each state. And then a video or like a YouTuber-ish. Back when I was a kid, I was like edgy-ish. Get into like more like heavy metal, whatever. I used to like watch like Japan's like urban legends and get like freaked out from it. Because there were like top 10 like urban legends. And one of them was the Slim House Woman. And like they explain how during the 2000s there were like kids missing, and they blame it on the Slipknot movement. So they're all like, "Hey, teachers has to walk the kids home, and the parents has to be there for the early 2000s." And they're like, "Oh, missing children went down 50% because now teachers has to follow them, making sure they're at home, make sure they're like all safe." But like, it was just crazy. It was like those like 3 shows. But yeah.
Now, obviously, like I go back and watch these or whatever, and I'm like, you catch things and you're like, no way this was in that. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my childhood. But I guess we'll probably call the podcast there, just because almost gone 30 minutes about what I planned on.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of just got lost in the sauce.
got lost in the sauce.
I guess I'll get it there, and I'll cut it off at some point. That doesn't show me doing this.